If you're moving abroad with your kids, and if your kids are really young, like mine, 10 and under, then you have a series of challenges that other people might not have. So in this video, I wanted to share some of these challenges and also how to overcome them. If you're ready, let's go. All right, so if you have small kids, let me know the age of your children in the comments. Mine are 9, 8, and 6 and 6. Okay, so 4 kids under the age of 10. So moving abroad with 4 little kids might sound a little crazy, but if you really believe in what you're doing, you're going to give you the means to do what you have to do. Okay, so what are some of the challenges that you might face if you're traveling and moving abroad with your young kids? So the first challenge, and this is specifically for moms who would have to deal with that, is worrying if the kids are going to adapt. For some reason, moms tend to worry about everything, but really worrying if the kids are going to adapt in a new environment is something that, can be a little challenging. But the thing is that kids can be more resilient than adults. The reason why is that they don't know anything better. That's just simple as that. As adults, we worry about the unknown. We worry about the things that we might have seen on TV, the things that people might say. But kids, they just go along. And the younger they are, the easier it's going to be because they don't really have much of a life experience to really compare with what they're going to experience next. So will they adapt? Chances are they will adapt. Maybe they're not going to adapt like right away, but give them time, and that is going to be easier for them to adapt, to make friends, to enjoy the food, to learn the language as well. And we're going to talk more about that later. The second challenge, obviously, logistically, is that you're going to bring a ton of things with you. Maybe they're picky eaters, or maybe they like a specific type of snack. So these are things that you might definitely have to bring and pack with you in your suitcases when you move. Whether you're using a container or you're moving with just your suitcases, hopefully each family member will have 2 checked luggage that they can bring for free. And that will be a way for you to bring things that they actually like certain books, certain toys, or even certain type of food, snacks that they really enjoy. Again, depending on your destination, that might or might not be necessary. Another important point, obviously, just for yourself, but even more for your children, is their health. So you really have to do 2 things. 1, do your research and possibly go on a scouting trip in order to look at hospitals and healthcare facilities on the ground to see if the healthcare system is actually something you're comfortable with. And 2, get a good health insurance, just like you would here at home. Get a good health insurance in order to protect your children. Another challenge, and this is specifically for parents of special needs children, is if they're going to get the right type of care as a special needs child. My son does a lot of therapy, right? Occupational therapy, speech therapy, and all of that. So we want to make sure that he can get the same or even better type of care abroad that he does here. So this is a major challenge for us. And on our scouting trip, we were able to ask questions at the schools we were visiting to see if they actually provide these services. And not only that, but also an additional challenge would be if these services can be provided in English if you're moving to a non-English speaking country. So if you're moving to a Spanish speaking country, you want those services offered to your child in English because that's the language that they speak and they're used to it, right? So you have to do your own research to make sure that you can identify those therapists before you actually make the move. That's a big challenge, but it's not impossible to find a solution to it, okay? Another huge challenge, and this is probably going to be your highest expense, school fees. If you're going to a non-English speaking country, chances are if you don't want to homeschool your kids, you're going to put them either in a local school or an international school where they speak English. Those schools are like private schools basically, right? So they are extremely expensive. So that is another major challenge that you will have to look into when you're moving abroad with your children. Again, there are some solutions to that, whether you want to be working at those schools or even if you have a job that can sponsor the school fees for your children. Those are 2 easy solutions for that challenge. Another challenge that you may experience when you're moving abroad with your small children is the fact that they're going to miss their grandparents and their extended family as well. They're going to miss the cousins, they're going to miss all the birthday parties, they're going to miss their friends as well, even though at that young age they might not have like lifelong attachment to their friends, but they also might, okay? So we don't want to dismiss those strong relationships that they may have with some friends, but also most importantly with family members. So taking them away from their cousins, their uncles, aunties, and their grandparents, that is going to be challenging. If your kids are teenagers, it might also be a little challenging for them to miss certain things that teenagers here in the US experience, from shopping for prom and attending prom with their friends to getting their learner's permit, all of these things that are typical to the experience of being a teenager here in the US that they're actually going to miss by moving abroad. Again, that's a challenge, but there might be a solution to it. So now that we've looked at all the challenges, and there are many challenges, let's look at the many advantages of moving abroad with your young children. First advantage is exposure. There's nothing like learning about culture and history that you find in textbooks, like actually going and being in those places, like in-person learning. This is huge, and exposure is really going to allow your children to be more open-minded to other cultures, to people who speak different languages. And on top of that, they themselves are going to be able to learn to speak more languages. Another advantage is resiliency. The first challenge that I spoke about earlier was the ability to adapt to a new environment. Well, like I said, children tend to be more resilient than adults. So chances are they will be able to adapt and show more resiliency than you actually anticipate. One of the major advantages of moving abroad is impact and what it's going to do in the life of your children. If you're moving to a country where they are not the ethnic minority, this is definitely going to have a good positive impact as they grow up into young adults. So as you can see, you have a lot of challenges, but you also have a lot of advantages when it comes to moving abroad with your children. I did another video about the challenges about moving abroad with your spouse, and I'm going to link it right here for you. But if you have any questions about how we're dealing with this whole move abroad with our children, let me know in the comments. That way I can come back and answer those questions. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. That way you don't miss any of my other videos as we document our move abroad. After you do that, you can also watch this next video right here. Until next time, bye.